Hey y'all, how are y'all today? It's Leslie with Phat Cat Flossing. Welcome back to the Crazy Cat Lady house. Today is Friday, September 28th, I believe, 2018. And before we get any further, Praline and I here want to do a special shout out to Caleb. Caleb is Crystal in Florida's son. And Caleb refers to me when he sees me on FlossTube as the Crazy Cat Lady. He likes the kitties. So Praline wants to tell you hi, Caleb. Praline is a 7-month-old chocolate point vermin girl. She is actually my grand kitty. She came to me from my best friend. I'd given her mother to my best friend, and she's my payback kitty. And she's about 7 months old, so she's kind of a teenager, and she's a real little snuggle bunny into every last thing. So the kitties wanted to tell you hi, Caleb. I hope you have a wonderful day. Before I forget, and while I'm kind of doing shout outs, let me go ahead and do the ones for the folks I kind of watched this week. Beanie, leave it alone, please. I've been watching Marie of Rita Marie's Stitching Adventure. She's in one of the Scandinavian countries in Europe, I think. This is Fooey. Fooey is here messing with everything too. Anyway, I've been watching Rita Marie, and she's got some beautiful projects, and I will try again to link her down below. I have to go over to my in-laws to use the computer because my keyboard is still dead. So we'll see if I can get that done or not. But it's Rita Marie's Stitching Adventure. I am late to the party on everybody else here, but if y'all haven't gone and watched them, then go look for them. Kyle from Stitching and Sound, Carmen from Broadway Stitcher, Kathy from Crafty Cat Stitcher, and Jamie from Crafty Gaming Jamie. I watched y'all this week, and I thought you were a lot of fun. Hopefully everybody will come over and subscribe to y'all also. Let me see. No big news this week. It's been another busy week. I had a doctor's appointment on Monday. Yesterday I had to take a kitten to the vet for his rabies shot and to get a health certificate because he's flying out to Atlanta on Tuesday. The rest of the kittens go Monday for their rabies shots, and they'll be starting to leave over the next couple of weeks. The older ones, the younger ones won't leave till November. It's just been general busyness. The good news is the kitty on Tuesday is flying out of Tulsa. And although I will have a very, very small budget, I do hope to be able to make a stop at the Silver Needle there in Tulsa and take a look about. And y'all, quit starting sales. I want to join because I want to join everyone. I want to do the Away We Ride sale. I want to do the, oh shoot. Christine posted it last night, the one with the ghost sails on the boat. Can't afford to do all the sales. Stop it. I want to do them all. Stop, please. Anyway, hoping to check in at the Silver Needle at least. We wanted to go to the state fair. I did go to the county fair here in Crawford County. I don't know, 2 or 3 weeks ago, and there was there was no needlework displayed. There was a lot of quilting, a lot of crochet, a little bit of knitting, absolutely no cross stitch or crewel or needlepoint or anything like that. So the Arkansas-Oklahoma State Fair is held in Fort Smith, about 20 miles from us. So we were planning to go this past Wednesday, and it was just raining cats and dogs, so we didn't go because I don't want to cromp around in the mud. But hopefully there was a little bit more needlework there. I am going to eat cat hair and all. I'm going to try to enter something next year. So congratulations and kudos to all of you guys who've entered stuff in fairs. I think it's awesome. I think needlework needs to be representative. Keep it up. Other than that, no news, just busyness with the kittens and general life stuff. That happens, you know. I had to go out this morning because for some reason our dryer vent has developed a hole in it, and I'm sure that's cat related. But anyway, I was drying a load of clothes on Tuesday and walked in the laundry room, and it was like a sauna because it was just venting into the laundry room instead of venting outside. So yeah, cat hair. Had to go to Walmart this morning and pick up a new dryer vent. It's just way too peoply out there. And on a good day, I don't have a whole lot of stupidity tolerance. On a day where I am not particularly in a great mood, yeah, I've got even less stupidity tolerance. And the stupid was alive and well today, so I'm glad to be home, and I'm hoping to stay home all weekend. We'll see. A&M in Arkansas play tomorrow. Somebody in my house is going to be unhappy at the end of the day because Steve's an Arkansas Razorback. I got my bachelor's from Texas A&M. So we'll see. Both teams are sucking it up this year, so it's not like it really matters on a global scale. Anyway. I think that's all the newsy stuff. Let me take a sip of water here and we'll talk about some actual stitching. I don't have any finishes. I didn't get anything FFO this week. And as far as whips go, I didn't have any very long stretches of sit down and stitch time, except over the weekend. So last weekend I worked on Lady of the Flag from Mirabilia. And she's slow going for me. But this is what I've accomplished so far. Let me put something behind her. Ah, so I drop everything. There we go, that's a little better. Anyway, I've gotten a little bit more done. I've got most of her bouquet of flowers here and a little bit more of the 1/1 on her arm. Started a little bit of that up here in her hand. And I'm trying to fill in basically where the 1/1 is. And then my plan is to take her off the frame because I do think the 1/1 stitching looks much better when it's done in a frame. There's some tension on the material. And then once I've got the 1/1 done, I'm going to take her off the frame, stitch her in hand, and then put her back on the frame to do the beading. As of right now, that's my plan anyway. We'll see where that goes. But a little bit of progress on her, and she will get some more love this weekend. Because like I said, I think the football game is going to be too painful to watch anyway. So, other things I worked on were Woolemina from Plum Street Samplers. And Wilhemina was a mania start for me. And I love, love, love the pattern. But I was very, very unhappy with how she was coming out. You can see my sheep is very, very pink. That is not reflective of what the chart looks like. It's not reflective of some of the others that I've seen stitched. Jan Hicks is doing Wilhelmina, and I think she's almost done with her, and her sheep is much whiter than that. But it's my fault because I didn't check ahead of time. These are the colors that are called for. The sheep is done in Bunny Honey, and then Blushing Beauty, Tennessee Red Clay, and Persimmon are supposed to be the other pinks. And these two, when they were stitched up, or I don't know, maybe it was these two. Anyway, the sheep and the lightest of the pinks, when they were stitched up, and I'm using 1 strand over 2 on a 36 count. I think it's Weathered Shingle from R&R. I never look at this ahead of time. You'd think I'd learn. Yes, Weathered Shingle from R&R. There was virtually no difference in the color. And I was bad. I just pulled the recommended colors. I didn't really compare them ahead of time to see where they were going to fall on the chart and see if there would be enough definition between colors. But when I got that stitched up, and I had the sheep all stitched, and then I had the outer area of this flower here done. And it was way too close. There was just, like I said, no definition between the two colors. So I did not want to rip out the sheep, even though she is way too pink. So I ripped out what I had done on this flower here. And then I went back and subbed in for, I think it was the Blushing Beauty. I subbed in a Victorian motto. This is from the Eliza Bell Cox thread pack, number 760 from Victorian motto. I subbed that in, and now you can see there is, this is obviously a much brighter pink here. This purpley color in here was supposed to be cinnamon toast. You weren't going to be able to see any definition there either. So I also subbed in another Victorian motto. This is My Potpourri, no DMC equivalent. It is a lightly variegated dark lavender color. And I subbed that in, and I'm happy with the way that looks now. You can see those. So I need to fill in this hill down here, and unfortunately I don't think you're really going to be able to see my flower stems here, but at this point I'm just going with it. But I need to finish the flowers over in this area, fill in that hill, and then Woolemina will be just about done. So I'm hoping maybe I'll get a finish on her this week, because I'd like to finish something. But I wasn't happy with the Fancy Floss selection. And like I said, that was not really reflective of what's shown on the pattern from the dye lots that were used on this model. I think there would have been enough definition, but the threads that I got, there just wasn't enough. You know, there wasn't a hill of beans difference between anything. So, and it's my fault. I should have looked at it closer ahead of time, and I have learned a lesson from that. So, anyway, I'm hoping Wilhemina will have some practice. The next thing I worked on was, here we go, Blackberry House. I started this sometime back around Christmas, the first of the year, somewhere in there last year. So, you know, 8 to 10 months ago, somewhere. I love the pattern. I think it's absolutely beautiful, but I'm back in Fancy Floss hell. See the little house there? I don't know how clear it's coming up for y'all. That house is kind of purple, right? But you can easily see the door and the windows. So I pulled out Blackberry House to work on. And I'm working down in this corner where the little house is. And I had the roof done, and I think maybe a couple of lines of the door, but that was about it. So I started on, I finished the window, the door and the windows, and the call for that was Garden Gate from Gast. So I started that and got those in, and then I started with filling in the house, you know, outlining and then filling in the house. And the call for on that is Amethyst, also from Gentle Arts. Well, looking at them here, you can see some difference. The Garden Gate is obviously darker. And this is actually, the Amethyst is actually looking a little purple on here. In person, in just incandescent light, it doesn't look purple, it looks gray. It's just a gray gradient. And I stitched a few lines of that, and you weren't going to be able to see where the windows started and stopped, other than the little squares inside them. So I ripped out 3 or 4 rows of that, and again subbed in My Potpourri from Victorian motto, because it is purple, and on the pattern that house looks purple. And I now have, with that thread, I now have nice contrast between the doors and windows and roof and the rest of the house. But with the Amethyst, you wasn't going to be able to see anything. So my takeaway from this is totally my fault. I understand, excuse me, my nose is itching. I understand that, you know, it's hard for companies to control for subtle differences in the makeup of dyes. And then over time, as different people do the dyeing, there's, you know, obviously going to be some variation. But my takeaway from this is simply don't trust what's on the pattern. Because there are changes, and what the designer intended does not necessarily reflect, I'm sorry y'all, power surge, does not necessarily reflect the color of floss that you're actually, God, burning up, that you're actually going to get when you go to the LNS and pick up your thread. So don't just do the floss toss and throw them on the fabric and say, yeah, that looks good on that fabric. I think that you actually need to look at the floss next, you know, say this floss goes with that symbol. It's going to be next to this other floss with the other symbol. Is there enough definition, contrast between the two that you're going to get the result that you want? And I've learned a lesson from that. I'm no longer going to just blindly pull the fancy floss colors or even the DMC and think that it's going to work. So yeah, that's my takeaway. I need to be more careful with it. Excuse me. Okay, so Woolemina, Blackberry House, Lady of the Flag. And then the last thing, actually I think I may have worked on something else too, but the last thing I really made any progress on this week, this is Happy Heart from Shepherd's Bush. Very cute little pattern. And I made a good bit of progress on this one. So I am almost done with the row of flowers down at the bottom. I need to finish filling in the contrast on this bee skep over here. There's some bees and dragonflies flying around, but I would say that I'm probably 70% done with the actual stitching on this. And I've done most of the back stitch because there was quite a bit of that. And I have ordered from Jabco some of the buttons because I didn't have the button pack. And the other thing is, this was recommended to be done on a, I think an 18 count. Yeah, the recommended fabric was an 18 count lamb's wool. I think, I'm not absolutely positive, but this is not 18 count. It's bigger than that, or it's a higher count than that. I think it's probably 28. It's very sheer. I think it's probably 28 count. But I do have to use 2 threads, and it's a very loose weave. And this is just something out of my stash from God knows how long ago, so I have no idea who the maker of the linen is. But it's just an off-white linen from out of my stash. And I think it's probably a 28 count. But I did not have the button pack, and even if I had, I think the buttons for the 18 count would have looked too big on 28 count. So I have ordered some buttons from Jabco. Hopefully those will be here this week, and hopefully they will be the right size. I hope. We'll see how well I guessed at that. But I'm pleased with my progress on that one. That one is much closer to a finish. Maybe I'll get that one done this week. We'll see, you never know. I'm doing the thing where I'm frustrated by the number of whips that I have. And it's not that I'm all about the squee-wee thing. Stitch what you want when you want it. But I want to make some progress. So I'm trying to touch more things and touch more things making progress on them. So I have intentionally, pulled out a couple of smaller ones that I thought I could get, headed towards a finish, and then a couple of larger ones that I could actually get some progress on. And the only time yesterday was the only day I stitched on Blackberry House, so, I didn't get a whole lot of progress on it, but I did get that little house and the little snowflake motif next to it done. And then one day I stitched for, I don't know, an hour or so on Oh Beautiful, but I made so little progress I'm not going to show it because it wasn't enough to shake a stick at. And I'm to the point on that one where the next thing that needs to be done is a lot of the white work, and just wasn't ringing my chime. So until I feel like doing that one's probably going to go back in the box. I'm sorry, pardon me. Excuse me. Okay, I had a little bit of haul this week. Let me move my stacks here. I mentioned last week that Linda Jo had posted on Instagram about the quilt shop in Oregon that had some Blackbird designs patterns at, what the original marked price was. And I did pick up 2 of them, one of which was Marianne Blackburn. And let me show you the piece in here that it's not the actual Marianne Blackburn sampler that I'm in love with. It's this one with the bird and the house and that beautiful pink tulip there in the middle. So I love that one. So that's why I bought this one. And then the other one that I got was one of the loose feathers. This is loose feathers. It doesn't have a number like some of them, but it was part 1 of 3, and this is summer. And it's got the bird with the strawberries. And a lot of folks have stitched this. I know Caroline from Off the Grid Needleworks, I think recently finished hers, and she did all 3 parts. There's summer, winter, and fall. Why they didn't do spring, I don't know. But this is the one out of that bunch that I just love. It's the one with the strawberries, so I had to get that one. And this little design here is also in there, and I think that's very cute. That may have to be done also. And then, who showed this? Julie from Reflections Framing showed. I have not seen or had any Madame Chantilly patterns, and this one is called Pumpkin Thieves, and I think it is hilarious. There is this witch driving the dirigible, making off with all the pumpkins, and then there are these cats hanging on here. I thought it was hilarious. That needed to come live with me. And I love the funny moon with the great big nose up here. But I love the cat skull and crossbones here too. It's charted in DMC, and I will probably do it in DMC with the exception of, I think I'm going to find somewhere in my stash of variegated light green, and give that balloon, since there's a lot of shading and or a lot of area in that. I'll probably do that one in something with some variegation. But I thought that was hilarious. And this came from oh boy, Needle Case Goodies on Etsy, I think. I'm pretty sure. My brain, my memory, she's not good. Well, anyway, I said we planned to go to the fair the other day, and we got into Fort Smith, and it was raining cats and dogs, so we didn't go. But instead, I told Steve, hey, there's a couple of thrift stores we haven't been to down on Rogers. Let's go check those out. So we did, and I came back with several frames. Now, this is going to be painted, because I don't think the gold and the dusty blue are the right colors for it. But this is the right size to frame the Fran and Frankie piece for our friends Brian and Jessica. So this weekend, hopefully I will be painting this. I'm just going to paint it black, and then I'll probably paint the matte. I don't know, maybe a ghoulish green or a lavender or something like that. Anyway, to bring out the colors in that piece. But for, I think it was $4.99. Maybe $5.99. Anyway, I'll get that framed and off to Texas. And then I've given up. I finally gave up. I'm just going to repin Sally. She's not going to fit anything I can find. But I did find a nice frame to put her in. So she's going to have to be made a little smaller. She's a little too big for the rabbit in this frame. But that's okay, because there's quite a bit of linen showing all around 4 edges. So I'm just going to take her loose and repin her. I'm just going to suck it up and do it. But I did find a frame for that. And while I was there, I'm all into square things right now, apparently. I got this frame. Like it. I love the frames that have the, what looks like another frame on the inside. Trying to keep Lady of the Flag from hitting the floor here. She's propped up by the frame. Sorry for the noise. And one more square frame. And again, the pretty little cherub is gonna have to go away, and I'll probably repaint that frame. I don't know what I'll use it for yet, but I got 4 frames for $30. That's a deal. So anyway, and probably when this is over, while this is uploading, I'm going to go repin Sally. So hopefully I'll have an FFO to show y'all next week. And then the last thing I wanted to show you was I had sent Christine a little happy some earrings for her to wear to her son's graduation from boot camp. And she sent me the most beautiful card and the most lovely note. I meant to show it last week and I just forgot. But Christine, your note in there just warmed my heart and made my day, and I'm honored to call you a friend, and I hope you really enjoy the earrings. So let's see if I have anything else for y'all. Oh, everybody, if you did not comment on last week's video, number 52, go back and comment on that, because you need to comment telling me how you stitch, whether it's on a frame or in hand or a hoop or a Q-snap or whatever, you know, holding it with your toes. So you can be entered in my giveaway for 1,500 subscribers. Yay! That giveaway is going to be a project bag, a fat quarter of fabric. There's a Blackbird Designs pattern, some silk, a Q-snap, and it seems like there's something else I can't remember right now. Anyway, go comment on that one. Tell your friends to subscribe, and I'm going to pull the winner for that giveaway on or about October 12th, 2 weeks from today. And I'll announce it in my video on that day, assuming I actually, you know, get one done at that time. But I think that's about all I have, and I'm at almost 26 minutes, so I'm going to call it quits, so I can maybe get this uploaded while I'm repinning Sally. Fingers crossed I don't break another frame. I wouldn't give you better than even on that one. Anyway, that's it. I hope you guys have a great Friday, a great weekend, a great stitching week, and, you know, enjoy all the blessings. Enjoy fall. It's here at 68 degrees outside right now. Hallelujah. So I'm loving this time of year, and I hope y'all are too. Bye, y'all. I will talk to you soon. God bless.